Guys, do you remember what you said to us back at Heimdallr? The most important thing is that we all come back safe and sound. Everything else is secondary. It appears you've lost this one, guys. Lieutenant General, It's currently 10:05. I will permit you until 12:30 to conduct your investigation. I will do everything in my power to postpone any potential conflict until at least then. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Then we haven't a moment to waste. We should begin by visiting the watchtower that was attacked. That sounds like a good place to start. Thank you. Really, I appreciate it more than you know. It's no big deal, honestly. I agree with Elisa. We're classmates after all, and more than that, we're friends. Well, this is clearly of great importance to you. I know you want to protect your people, but that's not the only reason you're doing this, is it? You got me. You got me. It ties back into why I accepted the Lieutenant General's recommendation and entered the Academy. I'm sure each of you feel the same about your own homes, but I love this land with all my heart. The wind racing across the highlands, the vast mountain peaks, the clear blue of the sky, the breathtaking beauty of the rising sun, the melancholy of the sunset, the twinkling of the stars in the twilight. I love everything about this land of Nord. It's a part of who I am. Wow, I guess it hadn't sunk in how much Nord means to you. I'm certainly attached to Aurora, but I can't think of anyone else who would state their love for their homeland so poetically. If you love it so much, why did you leave it behind? If you truly love Nord, if Nord is such a part of you, what is it that drove you to enroll in a military academy in a foreign land so far away? I'm not surprised you'd find it strange. To be honest, I'm still not totally sure what compelled me to do it. Back when I was a kid, the Republican Army built a base in the Eastern Plains, and the Imperial Army responded in kind with their watchtower. It's made me more uneasy with every passing year. Years ago, a traveling priest from the Septian Church taught me all about the history of the continent. One thing that stood out to me was just how many lives have been lost during the conflicts between the major powers. Another major theme was just how profound of an impact the Orbital Revolution had on people's lives. Even the concepts of time and distance have changed so much. In effect, the Orbital Revolution shrunk the world. It made me realize how a sad truth, one that kind of scares me even now, that there was no guarantee my homeland could stay at peace forever. That one day it might be drawn into outsiders' conflicts and be occupied and redistricted into oblivion. Can't believe you were thinking about such weighty things even as a kid. So then, you joined the Academy in order to learn more about the outside world that posed a threat to your homeland. Yeah, something along those lines. When I realized how afraid I was, I knew I couldn't close my eyes. I wanted to do something, anything to protect this land. As luck would have it, I met the Lieutenant General. He's the one who told me about Thor's. One thing led to another. He offered me a recommendation, and before I knew it, I took him up on his offer. So there I was, green as the grass, heading off to study abroad, despite having no clue what life in the Empire was like. Thinking back on how it all came together, what you said is probably what I was thinking back then. Honestly, I've yet to hear a galvanizing reason than yours for enrolling. I have to agree. I don't know too many people who love their home so much that they leave it behind to find a way to protect it. It's not a sentiment I can imagine many Erebonians feeling, that's for sure. But I think I finally understand. Elisa? Oh, just an idle thought. But having heard Gaius pour out his heart, there's no way we can just walk away from this. Not after the people of Nord gave us such a warm welcome and treated us like family. Indeed, I couldn't have asked for more. Agreed. We'll get to the bottom of what's going on here and stop war from breaking out. Nord may not be our home, but it's still an important neighbor. I'll do what I can to aid you. Thanks, all of you. Really. Thank you. You can see shell damage everywhere. It's even worse than I feared. They've confirmed casualties too. I didn't think I'd ever have to see anything like this. As students at a military academy, things like this are always within the realm of possibility. Although I hardly expected my first sight of such devastation to be the spark that ignites war with Calvard. This may be too much for students like us to handle. In situations that looked impossible before, haven't we? And every time we've come through, we just have to stay calm and think, I'm sure we can do something here too. You're right. True. We should focus on doing what we can. Whatever we decide to do, we need to get a better grasp of the situation. Yeah, let's find who's in charge and get their permission to start an investigation.
I see. If Lieutenant General Zex has given you permission, I see no reason to refuse.
Thank you.
However, I want to make it clear that armed conflict with Calvard could begin at any moment. We've got our hands full staying on guard for any potential threat from the east. I'll permit you to speak with the soldiers here, but don't get in the way of them doing their duties. Understood?
Okay, let's get started.
We should start by speaking with the soldiers and assessing the damage.
That seems
seems wise. When we've gathered all the information we need, we can start piecing it together. Right, let's go. Alright, let's go talk to people then. We got something here. Is this... What's up, Alicia? Elisa? Is there something unusual about that scrap of metal? I knew it. This is a mortar shell, manufactured by the Reinford Company. Are you sure? Yeah, I've seen them before in the assembly line. There are only a couple models capable of firing this kind of shell. That would suggest that the mortar used to fire it was also made by the Reinford. But if we assume that's true, it seems much less likely that the Republic was responsible. True. Why would the Republican Army use a weapon made in the Empire? Doesn't make much sense to me.
Account for deception. It seems unlikely that Calvert would go this far to conceal their involvement. Though considering the stakes, we can't entirely rule out the possibility. Still, this might prove to be an important clue.
Roan, why'd you go and die on me? Zats. He seems pretty down. Can't say I don't understand how he feels, though.
It was right when the shifts changed. Roan came out to relieve me. I was chattering away with him like always. It was when the first shell hit us. Must have been around 3.
So it started around 3 then. Right in the middle of the night.
I was on lookout. I should have noticed something was off, but that explosion completely took me by surprise. I was so sure nothing would have ever happened out here that when something actually did, I was useless. If I just paid a bit more attention, if I'd been a better soldier, Roan might still be with us.
It's not your fault. None of us could have predicted that something like this would happen.
You can hardly blame yourself for a lack of vigilance after being stationed in a peaceful area like this for so long.
They attacked in the dead of night, knowing your guard would be down. I wonder if it really was the Republican Army. We need more information before we can say for sure.
No, I don't think it was them. There was something else happened before we came under attack. We heard an explosion coming from the Republican Army's base. When we looked, we saw smoke pouring from it.
What?
We knew that both bases were attacked, but did both attacks really happen around the same time? If that's so, it's unlikely that either army was responsible.
Who is responsible then? We should keep this in mind as we piece things together.